So two challenges that I see coming to mind in the fund management space in terms of how we interact with founders and looking at deals. The first is this inherent power dynamic that we have where we are the money, right? We are the capital. Founders are coming to us, they're making the case, we're deciding kind of gladiator style, thumbs up, thumbs down. And that bleeds into the culture of what we do. That's one. Number two, the very practical side of what we're doing, right? We're seeing hundreds of deals every week, every month, and we're only investing in maybe one or two out of those. Like that's across the board. So we've got to be efficient. So there's very objective reason why we're not making time for other people. But if I take those two things, right, Christ modeled, he had the ultimate power dynamic, and he modeled what it looked like in the face of that, right? He was a servant. He sacrificed himself. We can be servant leaders in that as well, and we can lean against the overly efficient side of making investments, which is so easy to do. So it's really easy, for instance, to say, okay, well, I'm just not going to respond after that conversation. Or this could be interesting. I don't think it is yet. I'm not going to take the time to figure it out because my time is so valuable. I will just string somebody along and maybe check in once every couple weeks, tell them I'm really interested, even though I'm not really that interested. And a long, drawn-out no is very, very painful. So when I think about leaning against what I feel is broken in the space in terms of getting to a no, I think of four things. The first is being encouraging, right? There's always something, whether about the person or their company or what they've done, that we can genuinely affirm and lift them up and almost recognize the image of God in them and honor that. That's number one. Number two is transparency. If I were in their shoes, I'd want to at least know why I'm saying no. Even if they're going to disagree with it, I'd like to tell them, well, here's what I believe about the market and where it's going, which is different than what you're doing. Or here's what I think is going on with your margins that maybe you would disagree with, but that's the reason why I'm saying no. Not to argue the case or to be a downer, but to give them at least an appreciation of how investors are understanding it so that they can maybe tweak what they say, or they can have that understanding when they're engaging with other investors. So that transparency, I think, is important. Number three, I would say, is humility, right? We are, as investors, we're going off of pattern matching, right? We're trying to move quick. So if I'm saying no because I saw four other companies that had something similar and they didn't work out, I just have to have the humility that might not be right? Some of the biggest successes in tech, and it's another version of something that hadn't worked out from before. So us to have a humility and to say, this is why I'm passing, but I may not be necessarily right. I think embodying that is important. And the fourth way to say no is to do it very quickly, right? As soon as I figure out this is not going to be for me, I should be articulating that. We should be articulating that as we know, rather than trying to retain the option later on. What I find is honoring the founder's time, creating more value, even in the face of the no, with introductions, whatever it might be, actually gets us a look at a future round in a much more redemptive, effective way than just stringing them along toward that round.